Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the Strong by Design podcast. I'm your host today, Coach Chris Wilson, and I am jacked up right now. I'm so super pumped, probably because I've had too much coffee, but I'm really just so grateful for this opportunity to be in the room with these three, actually four guys, but the three men that you know of when you think of the best show that comes to mind when you think fitness, health, strength, muscle, everything, growth, mindset training. The men of Mind Pump are here with me right now. I'm actually with them up in San Jose, and they were gracious enough to have me as a guest today. So we are recording this remotely here in wonderful San Jose, California. So gentlemen, welcome. Great to have you. I got Adam to my left. I got Sal and Justin to my right.
What's happening?
Yeah, thanks for having us on, man.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, much appreciated.
It's just so great. I love this opportunity, and I've really grown to become a super fan of yours, as I know you have hundreds of thousands of those with your great success. I want to, because people listening maybe aren't familiar with Mind Pump. They haven't found you yet. I don't know how they've missed you. You guys are typically number one in fitness every single day I look, which is awesome. Strong by Design is a little bit more, I say a little bit more. I mean, we're fitness and health, but we go into the faith side. We go into a lot of different stuff, business, but you guys dominate in the fitness strength, the fitness category. And but what I'd love to do is a proper introduction or a quick bio, so to speak, for each one of you guys. So if we could just fly around the room so our listeners get to know each of you a little bit better, I'd love to. So maybe Adam, let's start with you, my man.
Yeah, so I'm the youngest of the crew. I'm the one who's still in his 30s. The rest of these guys are really old. So,
Stuff that in our face.
Yeah. Serial entrepreneur, right? I think that's the one thing you'll find in common with all of us. That and that we've been personal trainers for 2 decades. So been personal training people in person for 2 decades. And really what I think brought us all together was when we looked at the podcasting space, we really didn't see anybody having the similar conversations that we were having with our clients for 2 decades. You had some really high level podcasts that were out there that were getting into the deeper science. And then you had some there that were just kind of goofy and fun and entertaining and comedy. We kind of wanted to find something in the middle, and there really wasn't a lot out there. We thought that we could bring that conversation. We thought that the three of us had enough of a diverse background from each other, had all the experience of teaching people in person, and wanted to really educate the masses while also making it enjoyable to listen, right? So we knew that if we were going to keep these people coming back day after day, listening to the show, that it would have to have some sort of an entertainment value to it, and then also give them something that they feel like they walk away with something that they can apply to their lives. And that's really what kind of brought all of us together. And we all were doing different things. We all had different careers and jobs that we had success in. And it was kind of a passion project when we first started. And we started in Doug's living room. And we started just putting it out there to see if there was people that wanted the same type of content. And the thing just kind of organically grew day over day and week and month over month.
Yeah. I think as personal trainers, and you know exactly what I'm about to say here, it got really frustrating to constantly have to dispel the myths that are out in popular fitness with my clients. Mm-hmm. You know, they would come in and talk about this diet that my friend did, or the supplement, or I read that this is the type of workout that I should be doing for the goals that I want. I'd have to constantly dispel these myths over and over again. And when we started the podcast, the fitness space was so dominated, at least the mainstream fitness space was so dominated by so much terrible information. And we saw podcasting as an opportunity. The barrier to enter was low. We didn't have to sell anything to get on and to air our episodes. We could be as honest and raw and frank as possible. And all the stuff Adam said, about making people want to come back and have fun listening to the podcast, this is what you learn as a trainer. You got to be a good trainer, but your client also has to want to come and see you 2 or 3 days a week for years. They have to enjoy what they're doing, not just the workout, but actually enjoy you. And so we took that to the podcast. What you have is 3 guys, and 4 if you include the producer, with 0 media experience, but lots of experience communicating the right information in fitness in ways that were effective. And that's really the key, is how do I compete here I am trying to tell you how to lose 30 pounds, and it's going to take you a year, and I've got to compete with this ad over here that says it's going to take you 15 days. How do I compete with that? Well, I got to be able to sell my idea better, communicate it better, and I need to be able to provide more value than they do. So that's what we did with the podcast, and we didn't know if it would work. And I'd lie if I was saying, if I said that we didn't know necessarily. We were very confident. I'm not going to lie, we're very confident in what we do. But truth be told, it was an experiment, and it worked, and it resonated. And it looks like people do want to hear what's truly effective. Of course, they want to be entertained too. So that's what you're left with now.
Well,
with the
really,
podcast.
we just all had in common how much we love to help people, and we love to, help guide people to better information. And that was the starting point for us all in our individual careers, coaching clients and trying to kind of troubleshoot through all these barriers of, where people get led astray, where they get pulled into a lot of the gimmicks out there. And we're trying to, present something that's honest, and it's what needs to be said. And it just wasn't out there at the time. And there was a lot of really good information, but it was not very popular. And, the ones that were popular were these gimmicks and these quick fixes, and, and they're very entertaining, and they grab your attention. So we tried to think, like, is there a way that we can get that type of a person that's drawn to that, but bring them into better information? And so this is sort of the hybrid of where we were like, well, let's just talk to people like we would our own clients, and have, honest conversations, have fun with it. And then, sprinkle in a lot of truth. And that's pretty much what created the show.
Okay, another topic, which is has some humor to it, of course, but I like people to listen to high-level fitness experts like yourselves talk about the dad bod a little bit. and then it's okay to have a dad bod. Because so many of us, when we were, back in the, I was never the super ripped 8% body fat guy walking around the gym. I just wasn't. I was always more like the 12 to 15%, the achievable physique, if you will. But I think people always kind of saw me that way, maybe less intimidated by me, because they saw, oh, here's a guy who obviously loves fitness. I'm a very talkative guy, knows everybody, seems to really enjoy what he does. He's a people person, and he seems approachable, and he doesn't seem like he's so just caught up with himself,
right?
But I want to just go around the room a little bit and talk about the it's okay to have the dad bod and the 8%, goals that so many people are drawn to, or images that we see in front of us on Instagram and social media. That's fine for some, but it's really just such a small few who ever get there.
Well, there's a lot there, right? So first of all, I know we all remembered this when we were training clients. Very few of my clients ever came in and said, I want to be 3% body fat. They're the minority. Most people come in very deconditioned, low back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, 30 pounds overweight. Doctor just told them they have diabetes. This is what we get. We get the normal person who maybe fitness wasn't really a part of their life, and they are told, or they decide that, hey, it's time for me to get in shape. And when they come in, I could probably count on one, definitely on two hands, how many total people in my career came in and said, I want to be just shredded. So first of all, that's the minority, right, that even want to be there. Second, to maintain that low of a body fat percentage technically isn't healthy. Now, I have trained to the level of 2% body fat and got on stage and presented my physique. And the reality is I look more like a dad bod today, but I'm healthier today, because health isn't just your body composition. There's many other things that encompass that, everything from mental, spiritual, relationship, mobility, strength, energy, sex drive. The list goes on and on and on of all these other markers that really encompass health, and aesthetics is just one of those things. And yes, it's marketable. Yes, we're drawn to it. Yes, we kind of aspire to it. But the reality reality is it's not even an ideal place for most people. Most people, if you could check all the other boxes off, would be super happy. You know, if they're in a healthy weight, they're pretty strong, they have no pain, they're sleeping well, their sex drive is good. You know, 99% of the clients I train, that's what they really wanted more than anything else. And the reality is, and Sal likes to talk a lot about this, is if you really chase those markers, a lot of times the aesthetics just kind of follow. And, you know, you're going to come and go in waves, right? There's going to be times when you have a newborn child and are not sleeping worth a shit for 2 or 3 months. And, you know, I put on a couple extra % body fat during that time. And I'm not going to allow that, my body image, to mess with my head and make me think that I'm a bad person or I'm unhealthy because my body fat percentage went up a couple % because I'm getting poor sleep and maybe eating extra calories and sleeping in or whatever because I'm tired because of my son. And I'm gonna care more about the other things that I can control at that time. And so, yeah, the whole idea of and I think Instagram and social media has really exaggerated this for us, right? Like, and you know this because you worked in person, and I try and would tell people this when I talk to them on social media. When I worked in the gym, okay, I can literally also count on one hand how many times I stood up, and I worked at big box gyms that were getting 2,000 plus workouts a day, how many times I could count more than one person in the gym that looked like that. That's not the majority, and hardly anybody. That's the 1%. Everybody else looks pretty normal, but when we're following these people on Instagram, you know, and by the it's everywhere. And by the way, you know, 99% of those people that are even super ripped and fit, they do photo shoots for it. They drip their photos to look like they're that way year round. So half that shit ain't even real, you know. And then the other half that is real is normally dealing with more issues themselves. They have identified so much with the way they look that they're neurotic about that, and their other aspects of their health and their life is out of whack.
I think to be 100% like amazing at something in life, that means that there's a lot of other parts of your life
something's got to give.
Sucking.
That's right. Yeah. Something's got to give. And if you have the ability to never miss a gym workout, weigh and measure every bit of your food, walk around at 4% body fat, yeah, get out of here. There's a lot of other things that are falling out of balance in your life. And, you know, a lot of young kids aspire to look like this. Is a lot of the motivation of the show. Like, really, we saw this. We saw it, and we're like, oh, my God, these kids on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook that have got million followers. I remember I remember being that kid. I remember being, you know, so focused on that, and the information that I was presenting was still coming from a place of insecurity. And we still see that today, and it's exaggerated on social media. And that was a lot of the motivation behind the content that we wanted to produce, was like, we wanted to counter that message that, hey, and it's also not to shame anybody for being ripped either. I mean, I love it too. It feels great to walk around at 5% body fat, but it also isn't the healthiest way to maintain your life.
No, if you were to define a dad bod the way that we define it, you're fit, healthy, you've got some good strength, you're probably sitting anywhere between about 12 to maybe 17% body fat. That's where you live. And this is the thing that the fitness space does a terrible job of conveying. They use the super shredded bodies to sell products, but they never tell you that you shouldn't live there. Really, nobody should live in that space. There's very, very few people that can live that way without having a high degree of body obsession, or maybe even a touch or more of orthorexia, which is an eating disorder where you have to measure and weigh every single morsel that goes in your mouth and every single drip of liquid that goes in your mouth. The truth is, if you have a balanced, healthy life, you're consistent with exercise, and you're a man, you're probably going to sit somewhere around 12 to 17% body fat. And it's a great place to be. You have time for your family. You still work out consistently. You feel good. You're strong. Your immune system isn't compromised because your diet is so strict and you're so lean. Your testosterone isn't in the floor because you diet all the time. You're not overworking your body. You feel good. And you know, the irony of this, by the way, is that when women are asked what body type they prefer in surveys, it's the dad bod that constantly wins. That's the one that they want to be with. And you know, there's an evolutionary kind of feel around that, right? I think evolutionarily speaking, in real life, when you see someone that is ultra shredded, you kind of can tell it's not super healthy usually. So that's where you should be. You should always live around that. Now, if you want to get shredded for the beach, that's okay. You can do that, a season here and there. But No, where you live is probably around there, 12 to 17% body fat. You're consistent. Your diet's relatively healthy and balanced. You feel good. You're strong. You're mobile. That's the key to having a good relationship with exercise and fitness. That's the key to longevity. Again, most women will find you most attractive in that range. So,
and it looks like you're doing a good job crushing the dad bod right now, no problem. And you have a baby.
I do. I have a young baby right now. She's 6 weeks right now.
Oh my gosh!
And I tend to walk around at between 10 to 14, 15% body fat. And when I'm really lean, I'm below 10. But I don't feel good, to be quite honest. If I get down below 10 to specifically for a purpose, I'm going to do a photo shoot or I'm going to do a video. It doesn't feel good, to be quite honest. I feel my best probably around 12% body fat. I feel strong, joints feel good, balanced, healthy. I still eat well. It's not like my diet's terrible. I still eat very, very healthy, but it's not this consuming, obsession type thing, and just generally feel healthier.
Most embarrassing moment. There's been a lot of those probably. Probably the first time I ever dropped first time, right? Because it's happened more than once. First time I ever dropped a dumbbell on a client's head.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So I was doing, and luckily it was really lightweight, right? So I was teaching a client of mine, and luckily she had been with me for a while, right? So she had been with me for a while. We had moved to a dumbbell press, and I believe we were only using 5s or 8s. And we had those 24-hour fitness weights that are like kind of octagon shape, and they're black, and they sometimes when they're new, they get really like oily and slippery. And so I was used to, like, anytime a client was using anything under probably 15 pounds, I could pinch it with my fingers and just take it from them. And I was doing that after she was done with the presses, and I pinched it with my fingers, and they must have been pretty new weights. They slipped right out of my finger. That bounced right off her forehead. And I thought I died inside right afterwards. Was so embarrassed and so apologetic, and I was like, I could not believe that happened. And luckily she was a long-term client of mine, and she was really cool about it. But that was probably one of the most embarrassing moments to drop a dumbbell on a client's head, and it was early on in my career, and learned that lesson quick.
Without question, yeah, that's a tough day. It's a tough day to get over, and you'll never forget it.
This is it's not just the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me in the gym. It's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me, period. So,
does it require or involve poop?
It's worse.
Oh no,
it's worse than that. Okay. So I had just bought a brand new iPad. This is when the first mini ones came out. So I had this kind of mini iPad, and on it I had apps with anatomy apps and stuff that I would use to show clients and stuff like that. So I had that in my gym bag, and I was training my client.
It was like 80, right? And
Meg. Her name is Meg. Yeah. She was in her 70s, and I've been training her for years. Okay, she's a grandma, nice lady. We'd have these wonderful, conversations. She was very wise. She would give me advice on raising my kids. I never said a single bad word around her. Like, very respectful. I treat her like my grandma, and I love training people in this age group. And so she had this image of me. She had a picture of me on her fridge, right? So, picture of me and her in her fridge, called me her other son. So she comes in for her workout, and she had some pain in her hip. And so I was talking to her about her QL, her quadratus lumborum. And I said, oh, you know what? Let me show you what that looks like. I have this new app I just downloaded that shows anatomy, and I can highlight the muscle and do whatever. So I bring my iPad over, and I type in the code, and Pornhub pops up on the screen. Because I forgot to close the window.
It's a different kind of anatomy.
Forgot to close the window.
We're gonna take a much more a deeper look at how the QL works.
Let me tell you.
Yeah,
it popped up, and
real deep.
Real quick, I closed it, and and we both pretended like that never happened. And I was just
never discussed it.
Instant sweat inside my shirt, just instant, like, oh. And I mean, it was not good. It wasn't even like, it wasn't soft core.
Yeah, there's no way she didn't see it. There's no way she
didn't. No. It was all the big screen, and it was bad. And I was like, oh my God. Anyway, she didn't come back. She trained with me one time and started canceling sessions.
And that's why you don't watch porn, everyone listening. Because it could
you'll get caught?
Because you could get caught.
Most embarrassing thing, I actually have a news story. I don't even know if I told the guys about this one yet, but Adam, I think he knows this client that I had. Her name was Mary. She was a massage therapist. And so we used to do trades and things. I'd get massages from her. She's a very chill person. Her entire job and focus was about being, relaxed and working through this. And so she appreciated working out with me because, I would help her, in terms of her stamina and all kinds of stuff and strength when she would work on her clients. And there was a time where she started to really get into the strength training. She's like, ooh, I like how this feels. And really started to come in with some energy. And so we're out on the floor and, there's a bunch, I would take her into the weight training section, which there's a lot of bros that were in there at the time, slamming weights and doing their thing. And so I'm like right next to them squatting with her, and she kind of looks over and starts going, yeah, and like making all these loud noises. And then she started to swear. I don't know if you swear in your show or not, but she was just like, ah, and in their face, to these guys that were huge, was just ah.
Why?
I don't know. She just went crazy with it. She was just
and you never seen that side of her before, right?
Never. And the guys look at me hey, what are you doing? Why is she doing this to us? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. She's really getting into it. It was just awkward.
A super awkward, unexpected. It wasn't even happening to you really, but kind of was because you were part of it.
She was almost trying to intimidate them or something. And I'm like, who is this? What are you doing?
That reminds me of my Tina Turner client. I had this chick that looked dead on the Tina Turner that I used to train when I was 20. And she would come in and she'd wear these purple spandex pants, and she had the hair, everything. She looked dead on to her. And when we would do squats, leg press, any big compound type of a lift, she would do these moans.
Oh, I had a client like that.
That would stop the whole gym.
Sounds like 7 seconds.
Yeah. And all the guys would stop what they're doing and stand around. And I'm looking, I'm trying to be the professional trainer. Knees out. Okay, slow down. And she's doing this.
Don't let it phase you.
Oh, yeah. Trying to be professional. Pretend like it's not a big deal. Because she wasn't trying to do that. That was how she worked out. Every time I trained her.
Like that.
It stopped every dude in the gym.
She would make sounds like that, and then she'd say my name while she was doing it. Sal, Sal. And I'm like, oh my God. I was
secretly recording it.
It was one of my first.
I'll use that later. Screw the Pornhub. I got the moaning.
It was one of my first clients. He was 18 years old.
Yeah, so I was really young with this one too.
Untucked
That's
the
hilarious.
shirt.
Yeah, that's funny.